Can't let January 2021 pass without posting a vlog and saying Happy New Year, everybody. Quick plug, I started a podcast because I clearly have too much to say. It's with my good friend and business partner, Justin Moretto. We started Bad Theology Pictures together. We made Fair and Minor Premise together. It's called Two Friends with a Podcast, and it's about myself, a filmmaker, and Justin, a scientist, discussing our successes and failures together as partners, but also creativity, identity. We talk a lot about things that we're learning as professionals. It's got a little bit of an entrepreneurial bent. We talk a lot about the creative process. So if you're interested in any of those things, check it out wherever you get your podcasts. twofriendswithapodcast.com. We'll have links to all of that. And I just wanted to give a quick update on the writing project since that is coming to a close. I delivered the first draft right before Christmas, December 23rd, I think. And then last week had the follow-up call. So the producers read it over the last few weeks. They gave me their notes last week, and it was great. They gave me a lot more notes than I was expecting. I think all of us, when we deliver something, we think it's a lot farther along than it actually is. And I knew there was going to be a lot of work, but there's a lot of work in draft 2. There's some structural things, and it's funny. As I was thinking, I was like, oh, I try to make a really detailed outline to sort of get ahead some of the structural changes that we're now talking about. But I'm learning, the outline's really effective for me and a tool for me to write a quick first draft, but it's not necessarily going to communicate to the producers or the readers the same things that a script would. Meaning, you could read the outline, but not until you read the script do you realize, okay, this structural thing needs to change. This happens too late. This happens too early. This isn't working. And so I'm excited to dive into draft 2. I think everybody who writes something, if they care about it, they put themselves into it. So anytime you get notes, you get on the defense. And that is true with every project I've done where there is notes involved. And I even processed this with a great writer who's light years ahead of me. And he's like, it never really goes away. You always sort of get defensive, but he's like, it fades, and there's really easy, productive things that we can do with that knee-jerk reaction. But he said almost all of the time, the notes that bother me end up making the script better once I engage with them, once I, wrestle with them, or once I kind of let them lead me to a better place. So my initial knee-jerk reaction to some of the notes, I was able to sort of like, all right, this is just the normal process of any time you create art that someone is giving notes on. And now, once I've processed it, once I've talked to the producers, I'm now excited for the new changes that these notes will do to the script. And they're being very generous. They're giving me discretion. If I think something's going to be sacrificed, if I really don't think something's right, then I've got that discretion, which is very generous. They don't have to do. This is their project. But I'm excited about a better draft 2. But there's also going to be a lot of need for new ideas and things that I'm not quite sure how to apply yet. Meaning I'm not ready to just sit down and start writing draft 2. I kind of got to go back to the inspirational phase of creativity and take some hikes, do a lot of thinking, do some of the things I was doing in the early stage of draft 1, because now I've got some big ideas to work through. If they were minor notes, I could sit down and sort of apply them. But some of them are substantial notes and they require new ideas. And I don't just sit and stare at my laptop and get ideas. I kind of get those ideas elsewhere. So I'm given time for that to happen. And already the new ideas that I'm getting, sparked by these notes, I'm so excited to apply into the draft. And I'm sort of waiting till that critical mass grows where I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I can sort of solve some of the issues with draft 1. Now I can dive in and attack. So I've begun that process. We'll see how long draft 2 takes. Hopefully, if draft 1 was a whole month, hopefully draft 2 is just the next few weeks, but it could be another 4 weeks or so. I certainly have the time, but I'm eager to get it done, then I'll deliver it, and then this will be done. So maybe I'll do one more post right at the end, right when I'm delivering the project. Feel free to ask questions about the process, specific things about the script or how I'm doing it. Love to share more about that writing process. And again, twofriendswithapodcast.com. If you are interested in hearing me and Justin Moretto talk at length, each episode's about an hour. We go into it all. We get really raw, really candid with our struggles, being partners, trying to start a film company, the creative process, and the identity crises that inevitably followed. So, twofriendswithapodcast.com. Happy New Year, everybody. On to 2021.